Hey folks, thanks for joining me. My name is Mark, or if you see me for the first time, I go by the pen name Mark Allard Will, both for writing for comics and for photography. And it is that latter subject, photography, that we're going to be discussing today, namely the Pentax 17, the brand new film camera from the Pentax brand and its parent company Ricoh. And yes, you did hear me correctly, a brand new film camera in 2024. Right off the bat, I will let you know that today's video is not going to be a review. Many a YouTuber in the photography YouTube space have done a whole bunch of reviews on the Pentax 17. I feel there is no worth to me adding my voice to that. So today we're just going to do a hands-on video and we're going to look a little bit at the camera itself. So without any further ado, why don't you join me as I go out into Saskatoon here in Canada and absorb some of that autumnal beauty of all those fall colors on the trees as we go and get some snaps of this thing. Alright, well thanks for joining me folks as I went on that photo walk across Saskatoon. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And let's talk a little bit more about this camera. Let's change things up a little bit by first let's look at who this camera might be for. Well, firstly, anyone who's followed that analog film revival and really would like to get into it but would like a point and shoot. So what kind of demographics do I think that might be? Well, perhaps somebody of a younger generation. They're more used to social media, and as a result we're all used to that portrait, vertical if you will, format of photography thanks to our phones. So a younger person who wants to get those snaps on film but really wants to get them onto social media, and maybe that's really all they want to do. This is going to be perfect for them. Perhaps an older person who has that history of shooting on film, but it was a long time ago with those manual SLRs and all the granular settings therein. But they want to get back into film, but it's been so long that they've kind of forgotten that experience, and they want to have a stopgap to get back into that experience of being used to shooting with something tactile, get that tactile feel of an analog film camera. This might be perfect for them. Now, professionals as well. Now, not in their professional capacity, but in their personal lives. Perhaps you get bored of having to do all that granular settings all the time. You just want something fast and fun for in your free time, perhaps for going on holidays, perhaps something you can pack down really small, because this is incredibly small compared to manual film cameras, especially SLRs, with all the different lenses we need for all those different focal lengths. So you might want something to pack down for a holiday. This is perfect, because the space-saving function of this is that the battery has gone into the hand grip of this to really bring the size down, which is fantastic. Makes it really good for packing into hand luggage, hell, even on your person for going through an airport, maybe in planes, etc. So that's who I think this might be for. Something that's also quite fun about this camera is the engineers over at Pentax packed a whole ton of Easter eggs into the design of this camera. Each part of this camera body is essentially borrowed from a previous Pentax camera, whether that's SLR, point and shoot, it doesn't matter. They have drawn on their history, perhaps to get this out quicker. but also engineers clearly love what they do. I've spoken to engineers in the past who have verified that they love what they do. So that is probably partially what this is to give some love back to the community, back to fans of their work, and to really show that love through homages to previous camera models. And if you want to check out what those might be, there is a fantastic article from Digital Camera World which is linked in the description of this video. I take no credit for it. That's their article, it's wonderful. Go and check that out, and that lists every camera model that they've drawn upon when designing this camera, and all those fun Easter eggs for you. Something that you should know going into buying this camera is that it is a zone focus camera, or a staged focus camera. It has 5 zones plus infinity, so those go from macro right the way up to your infinity. And a nice function about the macro that we should mention, a nice thing that the engineers have done for the design of this, is the wrist strap here. Of course, that's your peace of mind for, as I demonstrate here, walking around. You've got that for peace of mind that you're not going to drop it and smash it on the floor. But it is also a measurement tool for macro. So the macro focus is set to 25 centimeters here, and this wrist strap is measured 25 centimeters when you've got it attached to the camera here, from the end of the strap when held taut to the film gate. So this is a perfect way to know that you're getting your macro shots in focus. And there's a whole bunch of settings and dials here. If you really want to know what those are, please do go and check out the Pentax website. I don't want to go on ad nauseum about all the settings in the camera. All you really need to know is that this is a point and shoot that has some interesting quirks to it. And if you are somebody who can familiarize yourself with those quirks and you feel that you can get used to those quirks, then I believe that this might be the perfect camera for you. Something else that makes it perfect for you is that it comes with a 2-year manufacturer's warranty. Try and find that with your used cameras on eBay and Etsy. You won't get it, but you will with Ricoh with the Pentax 17. So that's a really, really nice touch. And you can get accessories for this as well, including a shutter release cable for your bulb mode on this camera. So you can even do light painting in the bulb mode. And what I mean by light painting is you throw your tungsten in here and you go out with a tripod at night, and you want to get those streaks of red light from the tail lights of cars. We can do that with this camera as well. So you can get some quite artsy fartsy shots with this camera too. So I think this camera is going to be fun for a lot of people, so go and check it out. If you wish to check out my work as well, there is a link to my print shop in the description of this video where you can go and purchase any of my prints. And if you do, thank you so much. And I also wish to thank you for checking out this video with me. Alright, that's going to do it for me, folks. Have a wonderful day.